Yep, the title's not clickbait. The information in this video will truly revolutionize your life. Or maybe it won't, I don't know. Welcome everybody to More Bed Wars. Today I have some very exciting news to share with you, mainly because it primarily pertains to me, not actually to anybody else really, but this is the most revolutionary news that I've ever had in my entire life. So if you don't already know this, I've brought it up like a couple of times in previous videos and all that type of stuff. You would know that, well, obviously I go to college, and most people that do go to college, you know, they live amongst people or whatever, so-called roommates, as the, you know, the common English term. That guy just fell into the void. Okay, I think we're all familiar with the idea and the concept of roommates and how, like, you know, it's quite literally you have to share a room with other people. You know, very common in college situations, you know, to keep finances down and to keep more people in a smaller amount of space and all that type of stuff. You know, what is this guy doing? What is Mr. Wahoo? Okay, whatever his goal was just not very thought out whatsoever, and now I'm going to wahoo this man over the side. Hopefully we're gonna beat him, or maybe we won't. I'm not entirely sure, but it seems to be working out quite well. But anyways, like I was saying, we're all aware of the concept of roommates. You know, it allows people to save space and money and all that type of stuff, but the caveat to that is that you have to live quite literally in the same room, or at least in, like, you know, college dorms, you literally have to live in the same room with somebody else at pretty much all times. And yeah, for most people, you know, there's no problem with that. You know, some people are a lot more social than I am, and they're more open to doing that type of thing or whatever. But me personally, somebody who needs to make Minecraft Let's Plays, that's not a thing I can do. You know, I don't want to be the guy that makes the Minecraft Let's Plays, especially with somebody next to the room. It's just something I can't do as like a social thing. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, even then, someone just probably always listen to me whenever I'm doing my silly little Minecraft Let's Plays. So, you know, I don't know, my perfect utopic vision for recording videos is never truly achieved because of that. But you know what? I feel safe enough, and that's all that matters to my psyche. But anyways, back to what I was saying. You know, considering the type of person that I am, antisocial, has to make Minecraft Let's Plays, all that type of stuff. Jesus Christ, you have diamond armor, hello? And I didn't even land a single hit. Oh my god. So with all these factors, you would think, oh my gosh, like without question, this has to be the type of person that lives on their own. You know, they didn't follow what everybody else did and get roommates and all that type of stuff. No, for the past like 3 years that I've been at college, every single year I have had a roommate. Now, the first year, freshman year, it was more so like a willing choice because, you know, I guess it would allow me to meet new people and have like the, I don't know, like normal college lifestyle type thing or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I'm content with, you know, whatever, having a roommate and all that type of stuff. Big mistake, astronomically huge mistake. Never do that again. So obviously the next year, I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail, but TLDR, it was not a good experience. Let's just put it that way. So normally one would think, okay, well, you had a bad experience the first time around, you know, we can just do it over again, except this time not include the roommate factor and type of stuff. You know, that's what a normal person would think. But that is not at all how it happens. You know, life has to life, and things are unfair. We all know this, and I proceeded to have a roommate the very next year. And then the year after that. And even considering the fact that I was fortunate enough to have my roommate last semester leave at the end of the fall semester, I was not fortunate enough to have somebody not fill the vacant spots, and I ended up still having a roommate for the spring semester, which was absolutely amazing, especially considering the fact on how, like, a couple doors down the hall, there was some dude that also had his roommate leave from the fall semester, and then he proceeded to spend the next semester or whatever not having a roommate, or at least I just presume so. I mean, we all have name tags on our doors, and he only had one name tag on his door where it usually would have two because of like the formatting of it or whatever being not centered and that type of stuff. I don't know, maybe I'm just looking too much into it, but I have like a 70% not margin of error, 70% chance of being correct on that. But ever since that initial freshman year, I have been stalking that housing portal website to get, that guy's invisible. I'm not having fun. It was like a semesterly routine almost. About the same time every semester, I just had to go to that omnipresent website, and it was the same result every single time. For 6 concurrent semesters, I have been just constantly I look with, you know, hope and like whatever the word is, I'm not thinking of it, the opposite of negative, I don't remember the word right. It was optimist. I had an optimistic view going into it. I was like, you know what? Maybe this semester will be the one. Maybe this is the time that, you know, things will go my way. I can finally get a room to myself where I don't have to live with somebody else, and I can do all the things that I ever wanted to do without having somebody in the room, like record videos whenever I wanted to and all that great type of stuff. I don't know, shower at terrible times, eat at terrible times, all that type of stuff. Honestly, maybe having roommates enabled me to have a somewhat healthier lifestyle than if I was truly on my own, so maybe it wasn't all bad. I also realize now that I'm taking way too long to cut to the chase on this, but anyways, TLDR, a couple of days ago, I went to the site because it reopened again for like a room swap thing or whatever a couple of days ago, so I was like, you know what, once again, with my optimistic view and my all positive attitude and all that type of stuff, I was like, you know what, maybe this is the time. So I decided to go to the thing. I had to wake up at the abhorrent time of 8:30 to go to the website when it opened at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was, you know, the worst experience of my entire life. I mean, can you believe the audacity making people wake up at 8:30 in the morning just to apply for housing? Unbelievable. Like, there got to be some human rights at this. It's got to be in violation of the Geneva Conventions or something like that. But all of my waiting and waking up at such an hour paid off, because I finally did it. I finally won at life. I finally got the solo room that I had always dreamed of. It was absolutely amazing, and I don't know what this guy's motive here. He's kind of like teasing me. I may have been utterly embarrassed last game, but that will not take away from the joyous news on how I finally have the room of my dreams all to myself. It is absolutely amazing, and of course, I can't really take full advantage of it because I don't graduate in June like most people do. This is my last semester at school because I'm graduating early, which is just absolutely amazing. Give me a lot more free time to do, you know, stuff like working and all that type of stuff, assuming that I hopefully do get a job. It took until the end of my college career to get to this point, but you know what? Better late than never, as they say. At least it happened, you know? I'm glad that it happened eventually, so at least at some point in time, at least in my college career, I can finally have the experience of truly living on my own, where I can do anything that I ever wanted to at any given time. Can you not? Where are you going? Can you not do what you're doing? He's going to be right over here, and he's probably going to hit me off. Is he going to TNT jump? No! No! You! Why can't they just come quietly? Nope, they always got to put up a fight. They always got to get in my way, and now I don't have a bed. Thank you very much for that. But yes, this is absolutely phenomenal news. I mean, I managed to keep up like a somewhat consistent upload schedule, not so much this past semester because Jesus Christ, I was busy with everything. There were so many essays and all that type of stuff getting in my way, but like I said, despite all that, I still made it work. And considering the fact that I had roommates living with me pretty much at all times, some more omnipresent than others, I still managed to make it work and still have a relatively consistent upload schedule, outside of course last semester, but we don't really talk about that one. But considering now that I have all the free time in the world to like not have to worry, I can just record whenever I want to, instead of like designated times after stalking my roommates' schedules and figuring out when they're going to be in the room at certain times and all that type of stuff, and then stressing out at all times that they're going to walk in at any given moment, ruining the amazing content that I'm recording in the process. It's just very liberating to finally be free of that, and I don't have to worry about any such things, which is just absolutely amazing. Now, there's a little bit of an asterisk to that. It's not entirely good because I do have to still share like a bathroom with somebody else, because it's like a suite style type room or whatever, which isn't like the worst thing in the world, at least functionally, but I don't know, like they're not going to come into my room or anything like that. Why was my sensitivity just spazzing out there? That was weird. Okay, anyways, wow. But like I was saying, it's not entirely perfect because at any given moment somebody could just go to the bathroom and, you know, they could get in my way or whatever, and I'm like 70% sure that I live next to my... Okay, I don't want anything. Why? Like, I'm 70% sure I live next to my RA. I wasn't entirely sure when I signed up for the room or whatever. I just saw that it was a solo room. It's like, I'm taking it. Nobody else is beating me to this. This is the once in a lifetime opportunity, and I don't even care if I live by the RA. I don't care if I live by, like, I don't even know. It doesn't matter. It's a solo room, and that's all that matters. Can you fall off? Can you... Okay, yeah. Like I was pseudo mentioning a little bit ago, this kind of does open the door to things like streaming and that type of stuff. Although, I mean, as great as it would be to do something like that, I feel like my computer probably couldn't handle it. It would probably have like an aneurysm and shut down and die, and it would be a horrible explosion or something like that, and then there would be a whole fire department thing or whatever. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But anyways, that was kind of it. Apparently, I spent a very long time. I didn't realize how long I was going to talk about roommates and living situations. But that is the big news. That was the big hoopla. That was the big exciting thing. It doesn't really have any impact to anybody else because I mean, maybe there'll be like an impact on like the channel. Maybe content will be a little bit more frequent, so I guess that's the only way it would impact you. But the only person that kind of benefits from this or sees any kind of change is me. So that I spent the whole video talking about me. This was a very very humble video. I guess as a further talking point, I did have a little bit of plans to do like other branching out type stuff, not like specifically content, or maybe content, I'm not entirely sure, but things regarding like other different socials, like maybe opening up like a TikTok or something like that and posting little shorts. like posting little snippets of videos and that type of thing. Maybe I'll do the same for like YouTube shorts or whatever, you know, just things to like grow the platform and that type of stuff. Not something that I'm going to like put a whole lot of time into or anything like that. Oh, he killed the guy with the diamonds. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness, I cannot be more thankful enough for that. Thank you very much. And to say thanks to express my gratitude, I'm just going to go ahead and walk on in and just ruin this guy's day. What? He has a oh, he has a frick. Oh my. I goofed. I made a goof, and now I am suffering the consequences. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. What is his plan? What is his plan? We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Break the bed. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'd be surprised too. But anyways, that is all I had to say on the matter. Yeah, I know, very riveting, very relatable content today. But anyways, if you enjoyed, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, I'm going to go off and not do a ramble today. I know, keeping it short and sweet today. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.